Hello, children. Have you ever done anything silly? I mean, something that just doesn't make sense. Or maybe you've seen your brother and sister do something silly, and you're like, why on earth did they do that? It just doesn't make sense. Sometimes, as we follow God, He may ask us to do something that seems silly. It just doesn't make sense to us. An example of this is the Bible story of the walls of Jericho. A long time ago, in a land far, far away, it came time for God's people to move into the promised land. Now, one of the things they had to do in order to move into the promised land was to take over the city of Jericho. To explain, Jericho was this huge city, and it had really, really big, tall, high walls. It was fortified like a castle. And the people were like, oh my goodness, how on earth are we going to take over this city? It's huge. The walls are huge. It's a big castle fortress. And God told them to simply go out, walk around Jericho 7 times, and God would give the city to them. So the people, they were good, they listened, and they went and walked around the city of Jericho. Now you may say, oh my goodness, that sounds so silly. If I went outside and walked around a building, do you think it would fall down? No, of course not. That just seems silly. How on earth would walking around a building make it fall down? But God's people, they were good, and they listened to what God told them at that time. And what happened on the 7th time? Boom! Those big, huge walls just shook and started crumbling down, just as God had said. Children, God gives us this story and many others like it in the Bible as an example that by listening to Him, even though it sounds silly, it'll always work out. He will always keep His word, and He will always keep His promises. And by being good and listening, we grow our trust in Him each and every day.